Hello, hello, and welcome, everyone. I am your host and one of the producers of the LizyT show here in Toronto, Canada. How are you doing this evening? Some of you know that we've been doing last month and this month Woman on Fire season. This is another year, another great event, one of the events that I look forward to every single year. And because of the lockdowns and the pandemic, we couldn't have Woman on Fire for the last year. This is a makeup time. This is the 11th year and the ninth year that I'm sponsoring this event. I am so proud, honored, privileged to be able to be part of this network where ladies from all walks of life, whether they're entrepreneurs, authors, business ladies, there are all of them are being recognized. All of the ones that are going to be at this event, they're going to be recognized for the work that they do. The event is going to be taking place on April the 22nd and 23rd. 23rd being the day of the gala. It is an incredible event. If you are not taking part yet, please do get your tickets. It is right here in the bottom. You can see womanonfireblazing.com and get your ticket. Be part of this, participate, network. Trust me, this is something that I sponsor many events, but this is my favorite. And I'm not just saying that because it is definitely one of breathtaking. That's all I can say. I don't know. I can find any other words. Today, everyone, we will have another incredible woman on fire, and we will talk all about her business career and all that, and how she got involved with Woman on Fire. Before I forget, every show we're featuring a book. Today, as you can see right here, this is a book, Dirty Men, which is an author that I had the privilege, honor, and interview last year, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. Gervais from Texas, from the States. And every time I interview and I get a book in the mail, I feel so happy, so privileged that not only I was able to know about their life, but they send me a gift. And so today it is Dirty Man from Gervais, which is an incredible testimony, an incredible blessing. This lady has gone back and forth, abuse, and she has a book to tell you all about. If you're going through something, check it out on Amazon. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. Let's talk to this incredible woman on fire lady, which is right behind the scenes right now, waiting to be called, Kayann Saunders. She is a mortgage agent and CEO of the Vincan Personal Concierge. She is a high achiever, hard worker, and of course, she loves life. She has to be a love life to be a woman on fire. She is a mortgage agent, and she is a wife, a mother. We all been busy lady, a career woman with a passion of helping people. After becoming tired of the 9 to 5, I can definitely testify. She felt her desire for an entrepreneurship. She needed to be proud of her life. Good for her. Without backbreaking in finance and hospitality management. She created Mortgages by K and Vitkin Personal Concierge. Both companies are created to inspire and educate. Kudos to you. Kudos to you, Kay. And she wanted to show immigrants that to do more, you can't just mediocre. Her hope is that she have program to teaching immigrants how to become an entrepreneur with hands-on experience. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. This is going to be an interesting show because one of the things that, and some of you know, I'm also an immigrant myself. And one of the things that we all struggle with is, getting used to it, adapting, getting to know people and network. And this lady is probably going to tell us all about it. So let's welcome her to the stage with a wonderful round of applause. Hello, hello, Jay, and welcome to the LizyT show. And congratulations on being an honoree for Woman on Fire.
Thank you, Lizzie. Hello, good night to you and all the fans who are tuning in. Hi, hope everyone's doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic, and I'm very, very curious about having that, courage and being able to say, you know what, I wanted to start something on my own. Not a lot of people can do that and can say that. And what happened? I mean, did you all of a sudden realize that you needed more excitement, you needed another experience? Did some companies, especially COVID, laid off and reorg and all? Give us a little bit of background.
Okay, so a little bit I think I was naturally born to be an entrepreneur. I was just born this way. I've known it from I was a little girl playing with my dolls. My friends and family always say to me that I'm very authoritative and I always like to be in charge. I always want to be the boss. It has always been that way. But I've always been someone who want to do my own thing. Like I dance to the beat of my own drums and I don't like people telling me what to do. So I think this for me was a natural progression. I moved here as an immigrant and of course I went back to school, got educated, got a job in corporate, but I wasn't enjoying that because I wasn't doing what I was purposely put here to do, which is inspiring and educating. I was working, I was making money. It was a nice place for some time, but it was just time for me to get up and go. So for me, some people are born that way and some people move into it. I think I was naturally gifted
I
that,
can
you
understand.
know.
Yeah, it's challenging for some people to be able to say, this is going to be my life for the next 5, 10, 20, 25
Yeah.
years. And some people know I can't do that for that long. So good for
Mhm.
you for taking that step and
Yeah.
taking courage. I mean, it must have been very challenging. I mean, it is challenging, but you have what it takes and good for you.
Yeah.
Why real estate? Why broker? Why get into that venue? And the reason I'm asking this question, Kay, is because we've seen what has been happening with the market for the last year. I'm a real estate investor myself, and
Yeah.
I've been a little bit reluctant to even invest in the last year or so because of
Mhm.
what's been going on. So why broker?
Why broker? Why not? I have always loved real estate. Simply because of the fact of appreciation. And for me, I'm big on land and land ownership. And as immigrants, when we come here, one of the things that I always remind other immigrants is that when you own something, it is yours. When you're renting, as cheap as rent is versus buying, it would never ever be yours. So you could be renting for 20, 30, 40, 50 years until you die, retire. That property would never be yours. But if you were to purchase that property, it makes so much sense. What I love about real estate is how versatile it is and how much you could do. I am also big on creating generational wealth because I have two little black boys that I'm teaching, to carry on the business name and the family name. And with real estate, you could do that. There's no other industry where you could do that so flawlessly. Yes, the markets are down now, and with everything in life, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. That doesn't mean that you're gonna give up because we've already survived a bunch of recessions. We've survived the Great Depression, and our forefathers that came before us and people that bought land and property before us, they made it. Yes, there's some loss there, but
Mm-hmm.
that's life. Life is a gamble, right? You win some, you lose some.
No,
But overall, with real estate, you can't really lose. Like, I know the market is ugly right now and everyone's cringing, but trust me, it will get better. Sometimes it
so
gets worse to get, good.
Even though the market is a little bit volatile in the last year, I would say
Yeah.
last year because 2 years ago, you were crazy if you didn't invest,
Yeah.
but you still encourage and the same. I'm still looking for deals. It's a little harder now, but
Yes.
the deals are still there. So you obviously still encourage people,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
immigrants, if you have enough to put a down payment, and then probably use that as a level up to invest, do it instead of renting.
Exactly. Renting doesn't make sense. It does not make, especially if you come here and you're really young and you think about setting your roots here and having children and all the things that you need to raise a good family. Yes, it's hard, and I tell people that all the time. We also look at scenarios and situations where we're putting people in a home that they could afford. So I'm not gonna sell you $1 million house if I know your income doesn't support that. So, like I said, I educate, I inspire, and I help my clients to make very sound decisions, so smart decisions. So, I'm not going to tell you, Lizzie, you should get a $750,000 home when I know you'd be better off in a townhouse or a condo. So, it's very conscious, it's very smart. Like, we take very calculated risk, but nothing beats real estate. I am telling you, if you want to build wealth, if you want to get rich, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to retire at a certain age, real estate is the way to go.
No, I believe I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. This is one of the
Mhm.
things that, I've been doing for the last 5 years, and it paid off. It doesn't matter what the market is, the
Yep.
price of your properties are increasing regardless of the way of the economy is. And worst comes to worst, hey, you sell it. You cannot
Yeah.
sell something that you rent,
Yeah, you
right?
can't sell the apartment building, but you could sell your house. God forbid you can't keep up with the mortgage payment, the market gets worse. You could always resell that, and you're definitely going to get more than you paid for it because
For
right
sure.
now you see there's a housing crisis, and it's not so much so people can't find homes, but there's no homes. Right, there's nothing. So we have a scarcity problem where the supply and the demand is very low, but the demand is very high. So we don't have a lot of homes, and that's why everyone's scared. The interest rate is high, the stock market is doing wonky stuff. I still say to people, nothing beats real estate.
That's
Nothing.
right.
You just gotta ride out the wave. You ride it out and you pray for the best. Fingers crossed. Another year or two, and we're gonna start seeing some sort of progress.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's buying doesn't mean that you have to buy it for yourself. You could buy it for
Exactly.
investment, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Toronto and Vancouver is one of the highest places to purchase right now, but there's a lot of places in Canada like Alberta, Saskatchewan,
Yep. Yep.
Manitoba that you can buy something there and hold it for a year, two, maybe three, maybe five, and I can guarantee the prices are going to go
Yeah.
higher regardless of
Yeah.
what you do. You talked about the market is high. It's hard to find qualification. How do you engage your clients in order to make sure that they're able to qualify? Do you have a process? Do you have a form that you work? And before I forget, for people that are watching right now, what is the website for before? Yeah, because that's important.
Oh, so my website is Go Pineapple. So it's Go Pineapple the fruit .ca/ Kayann Saunders. So it's my first and my last name, and you'll find me there. Pineapple is my chief brokerage that I work with, and my name would always be at the end. It's the same. Yep, and there it is. That's my website. You'll see a pretty picture of a lady right there. You'll see Pineapple. They're my principal broker, and that's where I reside.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it, is right here, everyone, and you'll be able to take a look because that's what she is resides, and obviously she's also on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook. We're
So
also on LinkedIn too.
wow, beautiful. So you have apply. There's a click here. Apply now. So
Yep.
how do you qualify someone? Because they could have the down payment, they could have the good income. All of a sudden, credit. They spent a little bit more on their credit card than expected, and that shows up.
Mhm.
And although they have all the goods, all the check mark, that shows up, and they either don't qualify or they get a even higher interest rate. How do you go with that? How do you
So the whole system that I use brings us back to again, educating and inspiring, especially as immigrants. So I have a live that I run every Thursday on my Instagram page, and we talk about credit. So the series is called Before You Buy the House. So it's everything that happens in the background before you buy that house. So bad credit, bruised credit, bankruptcies, consumer proposal, new immigrant, you bought a house and lost a house because you were divorced, not enough down payment. Whatever your issue is, we tackle it. I bring a guest on every Thursday, whether it's a financial advisor, a next mortgage agent, realtors, lawyers, and we have them come on the show and we tackle the current problems that we have. So I, as an immigrant and someone who's gone through having bad credit and rebuilding and fixing that, I have a lot of experience in that. So what I do is I take all of my experience and I bring it on my show. Now, if a client goes on the website, there's a bunch of questions that it's going to take you to my application form. And in that form, there's going to be a series of questions that you would have to answer, right? That comes to me in an email. And I could go through those questions with you. At first, I give you a phone call. I introduce myself. We talk about how I work, what the expectation is from you as a client, and what the expectation is from me as your mortgage agent. There's a list of questions as I ask. So it's a series of things that happens before we even get to you telling me I want to purchase a house in Whitby or Ajax or wherever you want to live. So I like to talk to my clients, introduce myself, get to know who they are, and then we start diving into why you want to buy a house and what's preventing you from buying that house. Sometimes there's nothing that's preventing them. Some people are just scared. Some people are unaware. They're not educated enough on the whole, home buying process. They don't know what type of rebates are out there, what type of programs. My job is to educate you on that. And as long as my clients get that, we have a contract that we signed to say you're going to be working with me and we'll work with you. Now, I have a lot of clients who've had issues in the past. So bankruptcies, bad credit. I have teamed up with a financial advisor, and what we do webinars, we do different series, and I work with you. So we work with you to rebuild your credit. We work with you to get you up to the level that when I put you in front of the lenders, you're ready. So again, it's all about educating, because
That's right.
a lot of people just you don't know what you don't know, right?
True.
Everybody just hear on the news, oh, real estate is crashing, and they don't know the inside of it. So I wanted to bring everything that I've learned over my career as being a banker, everything that I know as a mortgage agent, as an immigrant, and just bring it to the forefront and just help people to tackle the big home buying process. So that's how I work. So I like to know where you're at, and then we educate you on how you're going to do this. So I'm holding your hand throughout this entire process. So it's not just come buy a house. I really want to know what's the psyche behind you buying a house. Do you have children? Are you
Mhm.
investing? Is there family members involved? Is it a group of friends that want to buy and invest? Is it, you know what I mean? Is it legacy building? Is it generational wealth you're creating? So there's a series of questions that I ask. And from my conversation with you, I usually could tell which direction we need to go.
That's very awesome of you that you have
Mhm.
on your social media, webinars and interviews, because
Yeah.
that way you can educate a lot more people than just kind of going on a kitchen
Yeah.
table and just having a one-to-one. You can,
Mhm.
expand and obviously reach a lot more people that are interested,
Yes.
because a lot of people think that, buying a home, okay, I got the down payment, I got a
Yeah.
good credit, I got the pay stubs, I got everything that I need, so I
Mhm.
can start buying a home tomorrow.
Yeah.
Regardless of all that information, you're looking at what? Couple of months, 3 months, sometimes even
Yes.
more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The process, and that's what I tell people, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna give you a call, and then when could I expect to have a mortgage? It just doesn't happen like that, because what a lot of people forget is that a lot of the times they're not truthful with us. And I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter if you tell me a lie, your credit score is going to tell me everything. So I
Yes.
like to say to them, is there anything you want to tell me before we even start the application process? Let me know. So we're kind of like shrinks. So I sit you down in that chair and I try to figure out what's happening up there, because they don't tell you. And then you pull the credit report and you're like, oh, who they did what, and then they're like, oh, I forgot. So I like to get to know my
We gotta
clients
give
so
people the
that we
benefit of the
don't
doubt that,
get
yes,
credit.
that was paid 2, 3 years ago, but it still
Yeah.
shows on their credit history.
Yes.
But I completely understand. One of the
Hmm.
things that I wanted to touch on, Kate, is the, brand new immigrant came to Canada, does have a down payment, and, they've been here for maybe 5 years, they've been renting, they know that they shouldn't be renting because, it's money thrown away,
Yep.
uh but they don't have the record because their employer, they just started working, they have 1 year of record working. What should they do? And they don't want to rent anymore.
So a lot of the lenders that we work with, they do have new immigrant programs, which is a good thing.
Mm.
A lot of the top banks, they're now getting on board with, including immigrant services and, you know, um, I don't want to name drop, but a few of the big banks have line of credits and credit cards
Mhm.
to help the new immigrants to establish credit here in Canada. And because I work in the industry, I could direct you to the right lender who would get your credit card. So what I usually ask them is, do you have a line of credit? Do you have a credit card? Is it a revolving credit? Is it a secured or unsecured? So by talking to your client, you find out all these details. And then I have a list where I could say, okay, go to this bank and tell them you want to open a check-ins, a savings, a high interest account, and get a credit card from the new immigrant program. And then they'll do that, and we'll work with you out. So I'll say, in the next 4 months, I expect for your credit to be this and this and this. And then we tell them, this is what you're going to do. You only buy what you need, not what you want. You pay your bills, and that's it, right? Unless something is necessary, you're not buying it. So it's kind of like a program that we have to keep people on track. And, they come back to me and like, hey, my credit hasn't scored, and this, and
Good
so,
for you.
yeah.
So
So,
so basically there are possibilities. You don't give up.
oh,
You
yeah,
do are able to get your home or your
of
investment
course.
property.
Yeah,
It will take a little time. I mean, I
yeah,
know the person just came to Canada 3, 4 years ago, and they want to get started, and completely understandable. They don't want to be able to throw money away. But unless they're trillionaires, and big corporate, big people out there,
yep,
they still
CEOs.
have to wait to get.
Yes,
So it's not as simple, but yes, there is a possibility.
there
I love
is.
it.
There's
I
many
love it. This is one of
possibilities.
my
Yeah.
favorite subjects to talk to because I love anything to do with education, with finances. And
Hmm.
one of the things that you mentioned too, that you want to be able to keep that legacy to your kids. I have kids
Yes.
myself,
Yeah.
and I constantly don't want to sound like a preacher, but I constantly make sure that they understand money, right?
Yeah.
Money can work towards for them instead
Yeah.
of
For our
against them.
kids.
So
Mm.
getting credit is to start is a good thing. What do you think kids nowadays? I find that the education is not as near as to prepare them for the real life. What should yes.
So I don't think there's any education out there. If you were to look at the school curriculums, they're not talking about finances. They're not talking about money. And I'm always encouraging my friends, my clients, people I meet to talk to their kids. And you could talk to your kids at any age. My boys are 9 and 6. And I've been talking to them about money since they were babies, right? You teach them dollars and cents, that's age appropriate. Now, my 9-year-old, who's almost 10, he gets it, and they're dealing with money and the different types of money. So I get him involved. I take him to the bank when I make my trips, and I tell him, mommy's doing some deposit, this is going to go into this account, this is the reason why it needs to go there. If I do a withdrawal, I explain that to him. He knows what a debit card is, he knows what a credit card is, and I'm teaching them about credit. We take them to the dollar store, and I'll say to him, you have $1 or $2 to spend. Well, these days it has to be five because everything's increased. But I say to him, you could spend $3 to do this because the other two, you're going to put it in your piggy bank. He has two piggy bank. One's get towards a gift that he really likes at the end of the year, and then the other ones get towards savings. So at the end of the year, that goes into his savings account. He does have a savings account. They do have RSPs. I explain that to them. I talk to my kids. So I think a lot of parents really need to sit down and talk about money to their kids. age appropriate ways. So you don't have to get into who pays the mortgage and, any kind of financial difficulties you have, but talk to them. Let them know if they're looking for a special toy or particular thing, let them know you're not able to get it this month. But if we save towards, I give them goals. I give my boys mini chunk goals, and I say to them, if you do this, and we have this amount of money, we could get this. And I tell them it's not
Mhm.
cheap. It's not cheap. So don't expect that mommy or daddy are going to say, here, you know what I mean? So age
Good for you.
appropriate finance ways, and it helps. But have these kitchen
Absolutely.
table talks with your kids. Yeah.
One of the things that I think you should be doing is teaching kids how to do that in a bigger scale because they go straight to using credit cards. That's
Yeah.
basically what the world is teaching them. Big
Mm-hmm.
corporations, and they get in big debts. They don't know. I remember in teaching my girls at age of 5 to invoice me to clean their room. You want to get paid to clean your room, then you better invoice me. I had to explain what invoice was, and they did it by pencil and a piece of paper and said,
Yeah.
taking putting away my toys, $1, making my bed, $1. Sum it up and give it to me. If everything is done, you get paid on your invoice.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you don't. So a
Yeah.
lot of parents actually criticize me, why are you paying for chores that they should be doing? Because if you don't do it at home, right? They're not gonna learn that.
Yeah.
They're gonna be taken for granted. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. It started
Yeah.
actually
Great
with
ones.
cookies, and they realized that cookie wasn't a good enough payment by the end that they were 6 because,
So you increase it to
they wanted
money.
cash. I hear you. So let's talk about your other business, the CEO of Vitcan Personal Concierge. What is
Mhm.
that?
So Vincan is a personal assistant company. So we basically come in and we're your second pair of hands. We run errands for busy people. So if you're a busy executive, a busy mom, a busy dad, you're just super busy running big businesses and you don't have time for the small things like laundry, meal prepping, cooking, dropping returns at the mall, collecting the mail, dry cleaning. You think of it, we could do it. So we come in and we do errands for you. It's all time based. You could purchase a time package between 10, 20, or 40 hours. And then you decide whether you want us there every day, every week, bi weekly, bi monthly. It's all up to you and what you need.
That is so cool. Did you think of that during the lockdowns?
Oh, actually, no. My company started when I quit my corporate job. So a little bit of background. When I was in college, I had a cleaning company. So I would
Wow.
clean so I could pay my way through
I've had
college
a
and
cleaning
support
company
my
too.
lifestyle. Yeah. But then once I started my corporate job, my schedule was just so busy and then I stopped doing it. So when I was in corporate and I got sick and tired of that, because I have two young babies at home, I was like, what am I supposed to do? But I'm a hustler. I like hustling. So I just seen I sat down, I got a pen and a paper, and I was like, I could start a cleaning company. But then I wanted to offer something that would help women that were in the same situation that I was in, because I remember as a mom, dropping the kids off at daycare, parking my car at the subway, taking the trains, go to work. You get to work and you work 9, 10 hours. You come back home, you pick up the kids. There's no dinner. The laundry needs to be done. The house needs to be clean. I didn't get to go to the grocery store. All these balls I was dropping. So I said, you know what? I'm going to quit, but I'm going to create a personal concierge company where I could come in and help these women that are suffering just the way like I was suffering. So that's how the business came about. And so I wrote my business plan. I wrote down the services I wanted to offer. And then beside it, I said, how are these services going to help women or dads or anyone that needs it? And I
Mhm.
had that. And I was like, this is enough. I'm going to run with this. And then, so that was October 2019. Started the business, registered, started getting clients. Some of my coworkers from the bank were my first set of clients. My VP was my client. He still is today. And then here comes 2020 of, I think it was March 2020 when the
Yes,
whole
yes.
world shut
Everybody
down.
remembers March
And
2020.
my boss called me up and he's like, do you have a crystal ball at home? And I said, no, why? And he said, you quit right as the pandemic started. And I said, I don't know, that was just divine because I was
Amen
already
to
out
that,
the
sister.
door.
Yes.
And I kept saying, God, you need to provide something because I need to quit, but I need to still have money, right? because I have two young kids. Yes, my husband worked, but we need two incomes to survive with our lifestyle. And
Mhm.
that was dropped into my spirit. I prayed on it for about 4 years.
Amen.
And then God said, now's the time. I handed in my resignation letter and I never looked back.
Good for you. Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Could praise the Lord and congratulations to you.
Yep.
That
Thank
deserves a
you.
round of love it, love it.
Yes.
Wow,
Mhm.
I'm learning so much with all of you, Woman on Fire. My goodness, I get inspired. I mean, it doesn't matter who is watching this. I'm the one who receives the blessing, and
Aw.
that's one of the things that I love doing this, and I love being part of this, is because it is growth for me. And if it's
Mhm.
one person out there that will be able to resonate with you, be able to think, well, if a Kay is doing it, maybe I can too. If Kay has that disposition, if she's prayed about it, maybe I can too. So
Yeah.
that's what I look forward to, and yeah, that's really what I want. Woman
Yes.
on Fire, how was it? How did you get involved? Who nominated you? Is this your first time? 3 questions.
So it's my first time. And when I got the phone call, because I didn't know who Allison was, I've never heard of Woman on Fire. So I was dropping my kids off at daycare. No, it was school. It was
You've
very early in
never
the
heard of a
morning.
Woman on Fire? That's crazy.
No,
That's
never, right?
Oh my
Never.
goodness.
And I'm on
Like, you live
Facebook.
in Toronto, then you are living under the rock, because
I'm telling
everybody that
you,
I've
right?
talked to.
So Allison calls me and she's like, "Hi, Kayann." And I'm trying to figure out who the voice is, right? And she's like, "It's Allison." And I'm like, "Allison from where?" And she said to me, "Your friend nominated you." And I'm like, "Who friend?" It's my client and my business coach. And she said, "Yeah, Claudine." And I go, "Oh." And I said, "For what?" And she's like, "Oh, you're such a phenomenal person. You're working so hard building businesses, and you're a busy mama, and you're always on the go." And I was like, "Oh my God, I feel so honored." I did not even know that people are looking, right? So that just reminds you that while you're building your business,
Mhm.
even though it looks like nothing's happening, because I always say, no one's seeing me, no one's hearing me. And my clients are looking, people are looking. I would get DMs saying, "You're doing such a great job. Keep going," right? And
That's
that
right.
fills your soul. It refills you because there's days when you're low and the phone doesn't ring and people don't see the tears. And I'm like, "God, are you sure this is the dream you wanted me to fulfill? Are you sure this is the purpose you have for my life?" And then you get that phone call, and I was like, wow. And that's just him reminding you that his promises are true. And I was like, I gotta keep going. I can't stop. So I've never heard of Allison. I was nominated by a client slash my business coach. And then Allison and I connected that morning. I'm like, I'm dropping my kids off to school, but as soon as I'm done, I could talk to you. So I called her back. We connected. And let me tell you how it has been such a lovely wave. I did not know there were so many talented women in Toronto. Like I was like, what? What? Like I got into my first call and I was like, oh my God, there's actually women out here busting their tails just as hard as I am. And people are pursuing this and degrees and masters and PhDs and just the phenomenal things that they're doing in their lives. And I was like, I've never heard of them. But it's a great place to be. I look forward to our meetings. A bunch of the ladies and I have already connected, and it's just a great thing that Allison is doing. Really great.
Yes, and every year for the last 9 years, I've been part of it and sponsoring, and I'm very honored myself to
Yes.
meet such a great group of ladies and gentlemen, and also to be able to network in such a close niche way with women just like me and you
Yeah.
that are doing our thing, and we will never ever be recognized otherwise,
No.
if it wasn't for this platform, because you are not getting Grammys, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. I don't want them. You're not getting, Oscars again, but you're getting just a close group, which is not becoming now a lot bigger because it's Canada,
Mhm.
US, and then it's going overseas. That is mine, Woman on Fire recipient 2020.
Mm,
2019 rather. So,
okay.
I cry like a baby. I usually talk, and I had no words because it was a complete surprise, that I received that. So, thank you, Allison, again. Just
Thank
big,
you, Allison.
big, big pride. Um,
Mhm.
are you able to attend both days?
Oh yeah, I'm not missing it. I have my pajamas for the pajama party and my dress just came, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
Woohoo! Are you bringing a significant other for the gala, or it's just
We're,
you?
we're still we're still thinking, but I think two of my friends are gonna be coming. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Mm.
So we talked about, the 2 days, the event, how you met Allison, how'd you get nominated. What are your expectations right now? I mean, a lot of us are expecting, obviously, to meet, to network, but anything that you probably, and I can tell you a couple, but I'm not gonna devote anything. I don't even know. I know what I know from the last 9 years that I've been part of it, but,
Mhm.
I don't know everything, and Allison always surprises you. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
you expect, she always raises the bar.
Wow. So for me, I'm expecting great networking. I already love the group, and I told you I've connected with a few of the ladies. I've already done like coffee dates with two of the ladies. We talk. Um, I'm expecting a lot. Like I have high expectation for the group to see how we're gonna grow and evolve, and being connect. I just love her spirit. Like Allison reminds me of like an older version of myself, but she's very outgoing, very energetic, and I love how she connects people. And when you look at the connections, they're so intricate. Like we're so different but so similar. And then you get together with the woman and you're like, oh my God. So
Mhm,
you see a little bit of yourself in all of them, and I guess they would say the same about me. But I am expecting, lifelong relationships, whether it's
mhm.
business or personal, still staying connected to Allison because I just love her spirit and her energy. And yeah, just having a good time.
One of the things that is, very remarkable about Allison is that she's very genuine and down to
Mhm.
earth. She's not fluff. So the way she is, I've always been her that way, not trying to portray somebody who is not or talk a certain way. She
Yeah.
says what is in her heart, very plain, which is great about her, and
Yes.
I love that. And obviously, this keeps growing, the sisterhood and the network keeps growing. I'm still friends with people that I've met 8 years ago, and
Wow.
that hasn't stopped. I mean, obviously, things come and you're busy, but you're still able
Yeah.
to connect.
Yeah.
The other thing that a lot of people don't expect is the talks that you have from speakers that are willing to share a lot of information that they would charge for, and they're willing to
Wow.
give it on a speech, or just great tips, also motivation. There is not one woman on fire that you come out with crying because it was so touching. It was such a great talk, or great speech, or great motivation, or great experience. Thank people that have gone through trials and tribulation, and they
Mm.
have overcome, and that makes, I mean, it touches your soul, so you definitely
Yes.
cried. So my husband comes to the event,
Yeah.
and he the same, we're both crying. So that's one of the
Aw.
things um that it's you need to add that on your list, and much,
Yep.
much, much more. Now that you know of this, and thinking forward, and God willing, we don't know if we're here tomorrow, but if there is another year, Woman on Fire, can you think of people that are doing great things, and they're not being noticed at all? If it wasn't that you noticed, this
Mhm.
person, look, that you probably could nominate next year.
Yeah. Oh, I already have a list. I actually nominated a client of mine who's a really busy woman, working really hard. She's a mom, but just such an adorable sweetheart, works really hard. So I nominated her. But come next year, God's willing, there's going to be a handful of women that I could say, you know what, Allison, this person's the one. Because it's all about, passing the baton and giving the opportunity to another woman, just as how someone thought about me.
Yes.
I would want to do the same because, like you said, we're not recognized anywhere else. Like we're nobody to the big bodies, right? And that's one of the things I really loved. I loved how Alison brought us all together. I was like,
Mhm.
wow, wow. And
Yeah.
some of the women, I've seen them on social media, but we weren't close. You know what I mean? And then when I saw it, I'm like, I know you, Natasha. I know you. I know you. And she's like, yeah, I see you on Instagram. You're always doing the funny stories. And I was like, oh my God. So I look forward to our Sunday night chats. Really, really love it. And I just want to see more of that. Yeah.
And the other, I said I was gonna give you 2. So the speakers are one of the greatest thing. The other one is to be able to really dress up like you
Mm-hmm.
deserve, like a queen that you are.
Yes. Yes.
So we don't have that. I mean, obviously, our jobs, what we do daily, doesn't, we don't even put a gown when we go to a wedding. So
Yes.
this will be one of the things that once a year I can feel like a queen. And
Yes.
as a Christian myself, if this is going to be how I feel when I'm in God's presence, feeling
Yes.
like a queen. So that's I look forward to that. Just the makeup,
Yes.
the hair, the dress, and all that good stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
not so much the hair for me because I don't have hair, but
You look amazing. Not to worry. I know you're
oh
gonna be
my
amazing. I know
God.
the dresses are always just well, we have some pictures from the year before. This is a year before the
The
pandemic. So
pandemic.
so you
Oh,
could see
okay.
all the ladies dressed up with gowns, and it was incredible.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, don't forget everyone. It is on April the 22nd and 23rd at Doubletree by Hilton, right in Mississauga. If you haven't gotten your ticket, please get it. It is worth it. The website is woman on fire blazing and .com, and I'm sure that you're going to have a blast. The food is always incredible, so that alone is worthwhile. My friend, it's been 40 odd minutes, and I know we could talk all night because you're
Yeah.
amazing and you're a woman on fire. And I wish you all the success, but we will be seeing each other very, very soon. I can't believe it's
Yeah.
already come. I've been doing this
I
since
know it's April
March.
already.
I've been doing this since March, and I kept saying next month, and I'm like, in a couple of weeks.
It's in two more with 3 more. Well, 2 more because today's the 5th.
That's right. Two
So
more
one,
weeks.
2, and then yeah, 2 more weeks, a couple days, and we're there.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
So, any last word, my friend?
Any last words? If you have a dream that's been bugging you, plaguing you, it's on your mind, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't do anything, pray about it, journal it, write it down, put some action to it, catch it on fire so that you could become a woman on fire. But nothing gets done if you keep it up here. It has to actually come out. You got to do the work. It's a lot of work. It's hard work. But look at me and Lizzie, we're doing it. Nothing is impossible. So take the impossible and make it possible.
I can do all things through Christ who
True Christ is
strengthened me.
strengthening me. That's
Amen
my
to that.
that's my vision statement.
There you go.
That's why my business is called Vincan. So I'm a Vincentian in Canada who could do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Amen to that, sister. That's
Yeah,
awesome. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see you, hug you, and
I
just
know.
be there and just talk and take a picture in
Yes.
person, not just doing this. So
I know. No, I'll come up to you and say, hey, Lizzie,
that's right. That's right.
I like your dress.
Have a wonderful evening,
Thank you
sweetheart.
so
All the
much, my
best,
dear.
and
I
we'll see
appreciate
you
your
soon.
time. Okay,
Bye bye
thank
for now.
you.
Bye, everyone. We'll be
Bye.
back with another Woman on Fire. Have a great night.
Thank you.